Neil, you got through the other night. We know it wasn't the greatest performance, but how relieved were you to eventually get through? Because that would have been a real blow if York City had got knocked out by Needham Market.
Yeah, it would have been a blow. And look at other teams, they got knocked out, so they'll be disappointed. But so we're in the next round of the FA Cup. We're glad we got through. So it wasn't the best of two performances really, but we managed to get through, and we look forward to the next round in a couple of weeks and hopefully do better.
What was the atmosphere like on the coach on the way back? Because I got the impression during that game the players must have felt under an awful lot of pressure to get a result, and maybe it affected the performance.
Yeah, but that's what we're in the game for. We're in the game to be under pressure. We want to win games, and the manager's brought going to bring a winning mentality into it, and that's what we're trying to do. And sometimes the players have to show a little bit more. I think the manager went in at half time. I said my few words, the manager said a few words, and said, get out there and sort it. And I thought second half it came out and was a little bit better, without being too much of a goal threat. I think there was under pressure. They sat in and caused us a little bit of trouble, but we got through in the end. And as you said, there's a lot of teams would be in our situation because a few of the other teams did get knocked out.
Yeah, in a cup game, that's what it's all about. It's
Yeah.
getting through to the next round. However you do it, whether you're lucky, fortunate, it doesn't really matter,
No.
does it? As long as you get through. Half time, we've noticed the last few games actually. You seem to be doing it a little bit differently at times. So I know down at Woking, you all stayed down on the bench, didn't you, for about 5 minutes, and then went in afterwards. And then this time, your last couple of games, you've come out early and left the players in the dressing room.
Yeah, but what happens is obviously when you go to some grounds, you get opportunity to speak just outside the dressing room. We don't go in the dressing room first. We let's ensure the physio gets his job done, make sure everybody's okay. We can have a chat about what we think's going on for half time and what we need to do, so we're all relaxed, and then go in there in a relaxed manner. There's no point walking off the pitch at half time when you're raging and like they used to do, throwing teacups around at everybody, but that doesn't happen no more. So get in there, make sure we get some good coaching points in and get them organised really.
And is it important as well that players take a bit of responsibility and try and sort it out themselves, as well as taking advice from you guys?
We can only train them. We train them before every game. We tell them what's going to happen. We tell them how they're going to play. We do the set plays. We do everything. When they go across the white line, they've got to take a little bit more responsibility. I've got to take a lot more responsibility. And then at half time we can change things and go over things. It's difficult to get points across while the game's going on. But players have got to take responsibility. You're only as good as your players at times.
So you now got a long trip down to Eastleigh. How's the journey going to work? Are you going down tomorrow morning and training somewhere?
Yeah, we're going down tomorrow and train at Northampton. So obviously it's my first time we're doing this with York City. Going down, train at Northampton, get a little bit of lunch on the coach. We're back to the hotel and back to normal really. Get back. It's a long journey with the weather coming in as well. It's going to be a long one, but it's part and parcel of football.
Yeah, it's been a long week with all the travel.
Yeah, and that was our fault by not getting the game sorted out in the first time. We got the home draw in the FA Cup. It's going to be difficult now. We go away to Eastleigh and then away game on Tuesday as well. So it's going to be a long week.
What do you make of Eastleigh? They've had a stop-start sort of season.
Yeah, there's a lot of changes. Obviously, new managers come in, finally took the job. So we're waiting to see. I've not really seen much of them because obviously with the FA Cup replay coming on, I'll concentrate on that. But the manager's done his own work already. They'll be big, strong, organised. It'll be a difficult place to go. It always is. Don't matter about that. They will play forward. They will get in your favour. They're going to be difficult at set plays. So we're going to have to do a bit of work this morning and a bit of work tomorrow.
And of course, the new manager will have gone in with his own ideas, but we've seen here, it's not always easy if a new manager comes in to get those ideas across and get your players performing straight away.
No, especially when you play Saturday, Tuesday. As you said, the manager only had really 2 weeks to work with them, really, and we thought we'd have another one, but obviously the replay comes quick and fast. So we haven't, so we need to get on the training ground as much as we can. I think we've seen by the way we're trying to do things, we are trying to change the way they play. A lot of players are taking it on board and some are just struggling with it still, so we need to get on the training ground and get these Tuesday games out of the way, really.
Paul McCallum, though, is clearly their big threat, isn't he? Their big danger man.
Yeah, we've known Paul a long time. We took him on loan to Wimbledon from West Ham many years ago, and he's a goal scorer. He's good in the air. He brings people into play, and I say his goal scoring record's good. So we're going to have to make sure we defend properly against him and make sure we have to stop the crosses coming in. Because as I say, in the air he's really good, and he does sniff out goals.
Your squad, are we going from the same 16, 17 you had the other night, or did you got anyone else that's dropped out, anyone else might be able to come in?
Well, we're waiting, the physio will be checking everybody this morning as I'm doing this, and then we'll have a look. Marshall will come back into the squad. But I think that's it really. I'm not sure if there's any injuries or illnesses till we get in really. Obviously we give him a little bit of a break because of the long journey, getting back at 4 o'clock like yourselves, we're getting back at 4 o'clock. So we give him a little break. We'll come in this afternoon, the physio will do everything and we'll know a little bit more then.
Aidan Marsh, do you know what's happening with his loan? Has it been extended? Is this his last game at the weekend?
I am unsure. I think we'll decide after this weekend. I think we need to speak to them and see what's going on and what they want to do. I know we went back and played a behind doors friendly against Manchester United the other week because he couldn't play in the FA Cup. So we will discuss everything. As you say, that game on Tuesday night come because it stopped a lot of our things we was trying to do other things, and obviously it just stops in our tracks a little bit. So we have to get organised today. We'll sit with the manager, have a meeting after training and where we go and what the side's going to be and what travels, and then we'll go from there.
Are you any nearer bringing anybody else in?
We're in discussions, but not really got anything over the line yet. As you say, when something does happen, when it's fully done and signed, I think you'll be first to know.
Catch about Callum Howard. I presume he'd be now fit enough to come back into the starting 11. And Callum Tyler Cordner. Do you think we're now starting to see a bit more from Tyler Cordner? I know it was against lower league opposition, so I suppose you've always got to take that into consideration. But the way now that he's starting to progress out of defence with the ball and move into midfield.
I think we all know that Tyler can play, and since we've been in, I said we've only had 2 weeks working. We've been working more defensively with him, but we know he can step into midfield. We know he can make a pass. He just has to other runs beyond him. That's what we've been working on what the forward runs need to be, and the midfield players making angles to get the ball off him. But as you say, the last 2 games he stepped in what we want him to do. Doesn't matter who you're playing against, you've still got to do it right, and he's done it right. So as I say, he's done well the last 2 games, but it's not about just 2 games. You've got to need a full season out of people.
And it's been a bit of a dilemma who plays on the left-hand side of that 2-man centre-backs at the minute. Because we know that Will at Harrogate, successful belt, he was always on the right-hand side. I'm sure he'd prefer to play on the right, and it's just trying to work out who you think's best suited.
Well, if you look now, I think now Callum's fit and Crooks is fit. Obviously, we look at Crooks, he's doing a job as a left-back, and he can play left-back, but I think we believe him he's going to be a centre-back. So we've got our 4 fit centre-backs all fit now. So the manager's got a dilemma who to play now, which is good, is what we want, and people need to be put under pressure. There's always thinking when you're playing and somebody's behind you ready to go is what we need, and that's what we need in every position. That's what we're trying to work at.
I suppose the issue is though, you've got no fit left backs.
But I've got my new boots out. I start thinking playing left back. Well, there is a problem we're having, but I say Croxy does a good job in there. Do we change a formation and go a different formation? But we haven't got a left back. But Croxy's been settling in there. He's just come back from fitness, so we need to make sure he's all right. He's played 2 games, so there's a lot to do today before we travel.
You've now been here for 5-6 weeks. Does it
feel a bit longer?
Well, it probably does feel a little bit longer, but does it feel a little bit longer because the job you've taken on has actually been that little bit harder to implement than you thought it would be at first?
No, it's been in the game a long time. Don't think you really go into a job that's really easy, going to be easy. You know you're going to go into a job where somebody's lost their job. It's going to be difficult. There's going to be difficult challenges. Got to keep players on your side, and players have not been playing for the old manager and not fit who are coming to play for us. It's never easy, but we've been here, and the only difficult thing we're having really is not being able to get on the training ground as much. There've been all these games coming up, and the extra game the other day was the one that was a little bit of a blow to us. So we had 2 really tough days for him to be worked in, but obviously we didn't get that. No, but we're getting in there. We're seeing little glimpses. It's not going to be easy. We're seeing glimpses of 1 or 2 players really shining. As you say, Tyler shined the last couple of games. We've done a little bit of work with him, but players need to take a little bit more responsibility and get a little bit of confidence. Obviously, 2 clean sheets always is a good start for us.
And Neil has been pretty open with us as well about saying you're not really going to see the York City playing the way that he would like York City to play until next season.
Yeah.
So what does that say about this season? What is the plan going forward for this season? What is the aim? Do you still believe you could make the playoffs, and is that realistic?
We still believe, because we believe we can go on a run. You do need them decisions to go for it at the right time, and as we all know, a 0-0 away from home and you get a break and you get that late last minute goals always gives confidence, but you also concede at home last minute, it blocks the confidence. So yeah, we still believe we're going to push, but I think what the manager's saying, the way he wants to play, this open attractive football with open gaps everywhere, that's the way he wants to play, and I think it'll take our time. We've not had a pre-season to get the boys' fitness into them because they are lacking a little bit of fitness, and due to probably too many bodies. I don't know what's gone on in the past, it's got nothing to do with us, but we have to work them really, really hard when we can. But with games coming thick and fast, it's been really tough for them.
So I suppose that's down to you and Neil to work out a way that you think can complement the players that you've got rather than them playing the way that you would like them to play.
Exactly, and as you say, we've had to change because of injuries and play different formations. We've not, the manager's got no set out where he wants to play, but we have to change things because we've not had the bodies to play that. As you say, we've not had no left back. It's been tough without playing the lup back, and then obviously Crooks has come back in fit. But the manager wants to play open, attractive football, play out from the back, and make overloads all over the pitch, which we're just not doing at the moment, and that will take a long time to come. with us that many games we're playing.
I suppose one player we should have asked you about, and I mistakenly forgot about him, was Rory Watson. Come in, made a couple of good saves. I know his distribution at times was a bit off, but he made a couple of good saves that could have resulted in York City going out if he didn't make those the other night. Is he going to play on Saturday? Is it now a chance for him to test himself at a higher level?
I don't know that till we get in, but all you think is he's had 2 clean sheets and he's done well around the place. The manager's got to make big decisions, which is another decision we wanted to make. We want the goalkeepers to be pushed, we want the centre-halves to be pushed, we want everybody to be pushed, and when we get everybody fit and everybody organised, and if we can bring a few more bodies in, either now or in January, I think he puts pressure on everybody, and that's what we want.
Brilliant, thank you.
Neil, obviously the extra FA Cup game in midweek, just to reflect on that. How unneeded was that in terms of the players' fitness and how you want them to develop on the training pitch?
To be honest with you, you don't really get fit playing games. Doesn't matter what people say, you get fit in games. You need to get on the training ground and overwork them and overload them, which we did a couple of weeks ago, and especially the first week we came in, we need to catch up. So we didn't get enough fitness out of the other game. If anything, we just got players playing on a little bit of injuries and a little bit of muscle soreness. But you have to play the game. We're in the FA Cup to get to the next rounds. We're in the next round. We look forward to Chester away, which is going to be tough. But before that, we've got 3 difficult league games to play.
How much preparation have you been able to do for this Eastleigh game then with not much time on the training pitch?
The manager would have had a look at the analysis. We'll be able to look at everything and we'll get organised as soon as we get in. We'll have an idea how they're going to play. We'll have an idea what players they're going to play, and then we'll set a formation at what players we've got fit when we know.
Looking at Eastleigh, manager Richard Hill's now been there just under a month. You got any past experiences with Richard Hill? Or?
Only from being at Eastleigh before. Obviously, we played against him pre-season a couple of times and been in his company a couple of times. I'm pleased he's got the job. He's got an opportunity to do it the way he wants it to be instead of sat in the background organising things for him. So they will be strong. They will be tough. They'll be difficult to play. And I'll say, manager's only been a month. He'll be trying to get his points across as well.
They've raised a few eyebrows in the last week because they saw one of their arguably star players, Charlie Carter. What are your thoughts into that? Do you think something's going on behind the scenes there, or are you hoping that they'll be sort of less strong, I suppose?
I don't know. As you say, it's always difficult when people move, but this league's still open. You can still make transfers and anything can happen. So it's good for clubs because we can still have a look about to see if there's anything for us in this level. But what happens at other clubs, you just don't really know what's going on behind the scenes, or the move was due. I don't really know.
Looking at your team news, Thierry Fairweather, is he any closer to a return?
Not at the moment, no. He's still probably a week, maybe 10 days off. We will know more today because obviously we've had a couple of days away from the camp, see how he's got through the training he's done, and we'll know a little bit more then.
Any news on Jack Stott? Is it Scott Barrow? Is he back in the frame now?
No, Scott Barrow obviously is trained, but we really need to get a game for him behind closed doors, really, for him. So he's played some matches. A match day, he's joining the training, but he hasn't played any game for a long time now, so there's no point throwing him into anything. He needs probably a behind closed door game, just so we know where he is then.
Are there any rules against him playing for the academy? Because I know at some high levels, a first team player is able to play for them.
I think our academy is an under-18s academy, so I don't think he can play for that. I don't think there's any in the league they play, and I don't think there's the 3-player rule you can play over in our league, so I don't think there is.
Okay, right. And in terms of, Dave's obviously touched on players coming in, any players going out on loan or perhaps permanently?
Not at the moment. No, as I say, we've got a few injuries at the moment, so we need to just be careful what we do. But we are looking what we need to do. Will there be some players coming in? Will there be players coming out? We don't really know till we get. We'll only bring players in if they're the right players for us. Yeah, and that's what we need to do at the moment.
And with Rory Watson obviously keeping back-to-back clean sheets, his confidence must be brilliant now. Are you hoping Ryan Whitley will perhaps see that and want to push himself further to show those improvements to get perhaps back into the starting 11?
Yeah, that's a good question. I think that's what we need at this football club. People need to push people. Rory's been chomping at the bits to get an opportunity with a new manager coming in. Obviously, I've known Rory for a long time. I had him at Scunthorpe United. And he took his opportunity. The manager made a change, give Rory some games in the FA Cup. Now we'll see what the manager does. But I say 2 clean sheets. It not only gives the goalkeeper a lot of confidence, but gives the back four a bit of confidence, and the midfield players that we can keep clean sheets. But then obviously the next goalkeeper who's been left out needs to push everybody and show in training that, listen, I want to get my place back. And that's what we want. Players have got to push each player, not just say, well, I'm happy just to be here. We want people pushing for their places.
Yeah, we've touched on that confidence about 4. Do you think we're seeing that come out of Tyler Corder recently, especially his confidence level?
Well, look like we've done a little bit of work with him. As you say, we all know Tyler can step out and pass it. He's got 2 great feet, can pass it with both feet. He understands the game. We have to work on his defensive work, especially when if we play a 5 at the back, he has to mark a little bit more. But as you say, his confidence coming out, probably a little bit of help he's had over the last 2 or 3 weeks when we coached him on the training pitch when we've had time. He wants to learn. If anything I know about Tyler, he does want to learn, he wants to get better.
And last one from me, 3 very difficult games coming up: Eastleigh, Chesterfield, Halifax. How are you sort of going to manage, so many games in quick succession again, but playing such quality teams in that as well?
Well, we just have to get ready for really. Saturday's the most important. That's all we can do is Saturday's game, and go as strong as we can, go as what we think is going to win the game, and go down there and try and win the game. And then we get back from that long journey and then get organised for the Chesterfield game. Then we get a little bit of a break, as we say, because Halifax is a TV game. Get me hair ready, get me all my stuff ready for the game and look good on TV.
That's all from me. Thank you.